What's up? What's up? All right, let's get this cranking. It's over here. I swear I'll get better at doing this. Yeah, so the poll was close. Poll was very close as far as what we were going to be working on. I think it was 50 something percent to 40 something percent. So yeah, we're just going to continue doing the gun for now. Another cool thing I'll just show while I'm here is I did the boots for this character. And just, yeah, when people jump in, just let me know if all the volumes and stuff are okay, because I got some background music going. I just make sure I keep that pretty low. But yeah, the boots I did. So they're pretty good to be, you know, high polyed up after this, like doing some nice scuffs and things like that. But yeah, the laces were a mission. So if anyone comes in and sees this from the start or wants to know how I did them, I'd be happy to sort of go through that, just because it's kind of fun. Maybe not fun, but it's an interesting way to do it, and I feel like you can kind of use that method for a whole lot of other things as well. So yeah, so if anyone comes in and wants to know how I did it, just let me know. But the gun, this bad boy is where we left off. So let's just continue going on with that, eh? I think it's relatively simple, this gun, considering it's sort of stylized, I guess, but hopefully it doesn't look like that in the end. Yeah, see, this part goes onto the other side. Let's do the scope. Just chip away each piece. Yeah, but it is very hard to know the audio levels on this, like what's actually going out, because it goes through OBS and stuff as well. So yeah, any feedback on volume levels is it would be great. Keep the chats open as well. We'll start at the back end, eh? Start down here. Extrude. poly loop. This is actually a good tip with Zmodeler as well. When you're doing something like, say, it's for a poly loop, this orange indicator is the direction of which it's going to do it. So if I want to extrude a poly loop and I want to do this edge around here, like so I can get one of these things out, I'll need to have it pointing down on this loop there like that. But if I have it pointing to the left, it's going to go the other direction, if that makes sense. So that is indicative. That's for everything. That's for all Zmodeler tools. They're all about directional, like when you're talking about flows and ways to do things. Just keep an eye on that if something isn't working the way that it should be. Yeah, that orange thing matters. A lot of finicky things about Zmodeler, but when you get the hang of it, I honestly think it's one of my favorite modeling tools, just because of the way that it is what it is. It's like you know what you're getting every time. And I feel like there's a lot of different ways. How do I say it? Like you could have a problem and then there's like, your brain starts going on so many different ways on how you can do it, which I think is kind of what modeling should be about, right? So another tip that I did there, I'll just bust that back out. When I extruded it, it's keeping that line there for the existing one. If you hold shift, it more or less just extends or contracts from the normal direction and is disregarding of extrude, which is kind of cool. Just saves you having to go in and go like move polyloop or something. You can just use the extrude and hold shift. Another one is when you're extruding, tap alt and it will create a whole bunch of different poly groups for that extrusion. Or if you hold control, it'll just extrude the face, which is also extremely helpful when you're doing things like belts and stuff. Like loops, like if you had like a waist around a character, you could just control extrude that off and then come down to split hidden, and then now you've got a completely separate subtool with the same thing, and you can go in and make it a belt. Like it's good. It's very helpful in that sense. So just smooth that up. Cool. So we're obviously going for this part up here. So we'll just get rid of that. Just put in some more loops. So what I might do on this one, instead of doing that and then poly grouping, so I could do another edge loop and then poly loop this, but another cool way to do it is just a bevel, because it gives you a poly group and it will do the same as the, probably, I can adjust it afterwards. Extrude poly loop. There you go. See, had the orange thing down the wrong way. Boom. Live action right there. Yeah, the retopology option was just because I need to do it. And for some reason people love retopology, or they ask. It's just always a talking point, which is really weird to me, because it's an extremely straightforward, almost boring process. But it's cool. Like, I mean, I would have loved to. I'd still like to do it if people want to see it next time. I mean, there was still a decent amount of people that wanted to see it. So maybe next time we break it up, get those people what they want to see. Even if it's just to have someone doing it and asking questions, you know. Sorry, just trying to work that out. Just trying to see if I'm live, if my preview's live, but I suppose that doesn't matter as long as I can see you guys in the chat. So this whole intersection, so this kind of slants down and this kind of slants down. So what I'm thinking is, what I might do, I'll invert this. Let's drag this bad boy out. How do you approach hair? Yeah, good question, dude. I'm actually doing, so for this character, I'll just quickly jump in and show you. For this character, I was going to use, create curves off this and then do XGen and then go through and do the haircuts because this is going to be a real-time character. But I'm actually going to be using GS Curve Tools, which is a curve plugin for Maya, and then Fiber Shop as well for the hair. So a little bit of a different workflow, but yeah, that's how I do it. But I mean, you could also, this is also a really good way to do it as well, is to have a base mesh and retopologize it. Have some curves that generally are going in the direction that you want the hair, and then I can create a curve off these hairs and then create an XGen groom from that. A little bit of a cheat way instead of having to go into Maya and, like, you know, change them all and stuff, which is good. So yes, that's how I'll be doing that. Again, the beauty of Zmodeler, we can just change all the proportions of this, like, sort of on the fly, so no big deal. Okay, because this kind of slants down, so it's going to slant from there. And slant from there. What I'll do is, I'll polygroup this middle one. Polygroup. Polygroup, polyloop. Have you gone through an art test while applying for a 3D artist position? I have. It was actually when I was doing, well, which I still do as well, is architectural visualization. Every character artist position, or anything other than architecture that I've ever applied for and even got the job, they've made it a point to say, we don't do art tests, which is cool. And I think even the art test, I had to do an art test for an architect. The last company that I worked for, it was, it might have been a week's worth of work. Yeah, it was probably because it was an interior render and an exterior render, which is, usually in the industry that I'm in, like it's different to this, but that's an exterior would maybe take you 3 days and an interior might take you 2 days. So that's 5 days of work. That's probably like 40 hours, like a working week that you're doing stuff for free, which is crazy. Like in hindsight, but yeah, worked there for like nearly 2 years. So it's all right, bro. I was like, yeah, where's my dude? Where's the guy that asked the question? But yeah, GS Curves tools. I can't share it in this thing because YouTube doesn't let you share links in the chat. But if you go to ArtStation and just type in GS Curve Tools, I think they're doing a sale at the moment too on ArtStation. It's really good. They've got like a little demo on how to do it too, which is helpful. So yeah. Let's extrude. So it's the same thing. Instead of actually extruding, just holding shift. I just got into one and the task given gave me is to make a 5K mid and a 500 low poly model version of the 30K character. I'm guessing it's probably for either a junior position, right? Or an entry level one. Because that's not something that is a bit weird. That's not really something you'd give an art test for. That's more of like like a technical thing to see if, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a junior position. Yeah. So, I mean, it's great. It's great that you that they've seen what you can do and want to give you the job, man. So, or like that's kind of what it is. They just want to make sure you can do it now because what they've seen of you. People don't offer art tests to people unless they think they can do it, basically. So, I think, yeah, nice one, bro. And even if it is, I'm not sure, but if you are a junior, like it's great to have experience doing that sort of stuff, even so that you can, like, understand the flow of the studio, or even just understand the flow of the way a studio works. And that stuff's kind of fun too as well. You get to like break down other people's models and stuff too, and like, yeah, it's not always a like, oh, I'm not doing the best thing sort of thing. Like, depending on where you are in your sort of art journey, all that sort of experience is so helpful. Yeah. See, dude, that's so I've been in positions as well before where they give you like the job description will say something like character artist, and then you'll go in and you'll see what you're actually doing, and it's like, that's not a character artist. This is something that you could outsource, or something that's. But at the end of the day, they're just looking for security, man. They're looking to get a job done, and they want whoever they're hiring to be able to do it. So I think if they've seeing what you can do. I mean, even if you're working generally in that world as a junior, like I would say take all the experience you can get in that world for sure. Because like a lot of the time you would never just go into a company and just be a character artist like straight off the bat as a junior. More often than not, probably not. You would be a modeler of some kind, like, you know what I mean? Like you would be doing elements of a character maybe, or you'd be doing exactly what you're saying there, like retopology and stuff. But yeah, if that's what you're, if you have any questions with that, dude, with your art test, hit me up on Discord. If you have any questions with it, if you do want the job, if you need help with it, I'll be happy to help. It's a little less tight. That's good for now. I mean, this thing could look kind of sick when it's done. It's a bit fatter, isn't it? A bit closer together. Those two are kind of alright. Just maybe that. Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to do that. Damn. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll do that, and I'll do that. That there is, I'm holding Alt and then hitting this. This is to go to unmasked mesh center. You'll be working on garments unless you're working on monsters. Yeah, like skins and stuff like that, like variations of models. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. That's also true. Doing like repetitive work, for sure. Oh, cool, dude. Yeah, I hope you get it, man. Definitely. Then if that's the case, no doubt. Like, no doubt, give it your all. But yeah, definitely hit me up if you need any hand. Do you know any course YouTube channels that create Marvelous? Oh, great. Any course YouTube channels that are great for Marvelous? Okay, gotcha. I mean, I was actually thinking the next video I was going to do was going to be... I'll just save that. I was just thinking the next course I was going to do, next video, was going to be on Marvelous. But yeah, what's a good Marvelous... You know what? I do have a good Marvelous video. It shows you the basics. It's on the Flip Normals YouTube channel. Flip Normals YouTube channel has like, it's like an hour long, I wish I could share links in here. It has like an hour long breakdown of like everything you need to know about Marvelous. I usually go back and rewatch it when I need to, like for this, I did this jacket in Marvelous. What the fuck is going on there? I did this jacket in Marvelous. And yeah, I had to go back and rewatch as well, so. What's going on there? That's crazy. It's weird. But yeah, go check that out, dude. Ah, okay, true, yeah. Yeah, it can't hurt to record it, man, for when you can share it. So, yeah, I would say just do it, still do it, for sure. Still do it for sure. See, there's that orange thing I was talking about before. It's a bit nuggetier than that. If I'm doing anything here that you guys want to know, or like if I'm going too fast, or if there's something that you're like, oh, how'd you do that? Just let me know. But yeah, just chilling, getting this done. Did they say to you, don't rush it? Because that's usually what they say. Is they're like, take as much time as you want, because they want to have a realistic representation of how long it would take you to do that task. Because the last thing you want to do is rush it, do a shit job, get the job, not be able to do the task in the time that they want you to do it, things like that. So I'm intrigued about what this is now. It's nearly impossible to finish within 2 working days, as I'm basically on day 3 now, still working on it. Yeah, that's a tricky one, dude. Sorry, man, I don't know. That bevels down hard. Yep. Yeah, and that's the right thing to do. The right thing to do is definitely, like, not to say, hey man, finish this thing as quickly as you can, because that's not the point of the art test. Is, you know, like, that's not the point of it. The point of it is to see how well you can do it, and how accurately of a time frame can you do it in. Like, you can go back to them and say, I took X amount of time to do this, and this is the level of work I can do in that thing. And then if it fits everything for them, they'll go, cool, that's it. But yeah, it's a tricky one. I try to do these little cuts here. So what I might do, that's doing the whole edge. Tricky. Okay, I'm gonna break them up with polygroups. I'll break them up with polygroups first. How many's here? 1, 2, 3. Nah, no way, dude. No way. No way. They want to give you time. Unless it's like, 3 weeks or something, where they're like, dude, this is too much, you know. I'll have to do doubles on this thing. It's probably doubles anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't stress, dude. I wouldn't stress about taking extra time, but yeah, I'm definitely curious on what this is. Let's see, that's better. Definitely could have just turned symmetry on for that, but that's all right. Jeez. There we go. Man, that was being difficult. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is if we inset polygroup all those polygroups I just made. Because I want to keep the chords going around. I don't want to be adding edge loops down here. I'll probably have to go through and weld these, but it's probably the best way. Let's just see how this looks. Keep it from falling over. Yeah. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Okay. Also depends on the complexity of the task. It's true. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely don't want to be taking the piss like about how long it's gonna, you know. Yeah, it's so funny. So many. Oh, cool, bro. Catch you later, man. Yeah. That's good to know. I'll throw that up if that's something that people want to see. I mean, I think I have it recorded actually. How I did the jacket. So yeah, catch you, dude. Thanks for stopping in. What I really want to do is just split this. But then it's going to create triangles. I don't want to do that. Might just shuffle down. Have a think about it. Have a think about that one. we going for? 37? Yeah, art tests, yeah. It's funny because at the end of the day, if it's like, if you want the job, an art test doesn't matter, right? You'd be like, I don't care how long it takes me, I'm going to stay up and I'm going to. It's usually like, oh, you don't want the job. So I'm not going to give it 100%, you know? Yeah, I also thought about the retopology video, and thinking that might not be too fun for people unless people don't know how to do it. Like the process of that, and there's a couple of cool hotkeys and stuff like that too. So I might just do that one next, just to break. I mean, this project is just turned into, you know, a bit of a beast, which is, it's fine. So this is now we're getting into some funky hard surface. I got an idea how to do this one. Even this music's coming in now. It's kind of funky. It's kind of matching it. I like it. So we'll get rid of this first. Actually, let's leave the middle ones. Get rid of these. Cool. Get rid of that for now. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it is, man. Like, what you're talking about there before, 5K. Like, I'm trying to find something that's, yeah. Like everything that I've got here is 5K so far. And that's even if I, you know, take the smoothing off, does so it looks shit house. So yeah, mobile's a different beast, man. Like I feel like, especially that, even what you're saying with that art test, like it's a very like you need to know the technical limitations a lot more and be able to prove that, which is, I think, so it's more of a, it should be called a technical test, not an art test, you know? Yeah, 50K is doable. 50K is definitely, like, that used to be sort of the standard. I was listening to a podcast with a friend of mine, and he's talking about doing portfolio pieces. It wasn't a podcast. It was a course thing, and he was talking about doing a project today. To like forward think your portfolio, and he was saying to do, if 100K is like the standard for a character today, make a character that's 200K, because odds are games that are being made today are going to come out in 3 or 4 years. So he was saying to forward think, like the way that the trajectory has gone. It's like work thinking that the future is like, someone's going to be looking at that, because you want your portfolio to be as good as it can be. So make a character that's, you know, probably going to be in a game in 2 or 3 years, is probably going to do you more. It's going to go further in your portfolio. especially if you're getting hired for a game today that's being made in 4 years' time. You know? Okay. So this is actually a really cool tool, this one. A cool thing in Zmodeler is when you're hovering over a vertex to go to split. Pretty dope. And what it also comes with is creases. So when I subdivide this, it'll smooth it as a perfect circle. Which is, if the cube was a perfect cube, which is sort of dope. But it has, yeah, so if you wanted to get rid of the creasing, it's in topology, modified topology over there. But in my toolbar, it's just uncrease all. So if I hit that now, see? It's the same thing as, oh, oh, oh. You get the point. It's the same as putting an edge loop around it. But yes, for now, let's just keep going with this. See the creases on both sides. And just another one quickly. If you hover over an edge, you can go crease, an edge. Say, I don't want to have that edge creased. So you would alt click. So it's just click to crease and alt click to uncrease. That's getting a little bit too funky now, but you kind of get the point. Equalize. What? Yeah, like I said before, dude, if you want to hit me up on Discord, I'd be happy to help if you need a hand with anything. But yeah, sounds like you got it under control, but yeah, happy to help if you need it. I think, yeah, the best tip I can give with like super low poly stuff, I did a character, I can't even release it yet. It's just sitting in my thing. It was, the best advice, it was like a Pixar sort of style thing. It's starts super, super low. Like just, I mean, again, you probably know exactly what you're doing, but if your portfolio probably says it, but yeah, just start low, man. Start really, really low. You can always go up. Cool, bro. Cool, man. Yeah, those corners really go up, huh? Yeah, don't want to be doing that. Yeah, let's get rid of the creases so that I can. See, this is doing the same thing as creasing. It's just you're in control of the creases. And it's not dynamic. So there, when you crease, they're there for good. When you insert an edge loop, it's there for good. When you crease, it's like polygroup islands, because I just want to do this top one. See, it's the same look. It's just more permanent. But in this case, I definitely need more control. Getting there. Maybe it's something like that. And then I can tighten it up. Let's just see how this looks. If I tighten up on these edges. Tough one, eh? Let's just keep it beveled for now. Hey Rafi, what's going on, brother? Let's get another lip up here. Extrude poly loop. probably a bit much. Yeah, thanks, bro. It's just slow. I think the decision to do some YouTube with it's probably slowed me down, and just doing it in here. Like maybe I'm a bit more confident in confidence, not the right word, probably more I'm faster in 3ds Max, so to do this type of stuff, but I probably enjoy doing this more. Definitely enjoy doing this more. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. So I'll just keep doing this, I reckon. But yeah, no, thanks, bro. It's looking all right. It's getting there. It's getting there. I don't know if you know, this is for the J Hill course that I'm doing. J Hill's course. I always forget that cylinders don't work well when you do that. Just get rid of them. What's the time? Cool. What are you working on at the moment, dude? Yeah, I can. Oh, you were probably in here the other day when I was showing you what I'm up to with my actual character. That it's for, yeah. Yeah, it's a good course, man. It's just being in like having a community sort of channel where people like all jump in and ask questions and do all that stuff. Like, I used to really shy away from that, but man, it's really good. It's really good as far as, you know, bettering yourself as well. So all I'm doing here is just making sure that that's centered so that I can work in symmetry here, because I don't think it was. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the thing with those, right? Like, you need to kind of pick your battles as far as price and stuff. Like, what can fit your budget? What can you, do on YouTube? It's tough, man. I hear ya. I'm just thinking how to do this one. Just make sure we're working in symmetry here. Cool, so just mirrored those polygroups. Oh, I can show you, bro. It's in the same project, if that makes sense. I don't even see the character right now. I'm sort of hopped on my mental. It's a little challenge. Finally have time to work on it. But cool, dude. Cool. Yeah, so this is the character, and I can show you the. That's the concept. That's the gun that I'm making for it. So yeah, it's coming together pretty nicely, I think. It was a bit of a beast. Like the course, it was more like a do a bust, do it properly from start to finish. But unfortunately, I can't do anything in halves. So I was like, I'm going to go the whole way. I'm going to do everything, and I'm going to try to make it dope. So I think the most important thing is that I've been enjoying it, which is weird because it's been such a beast of a project. Like even this jacket, man, it did my friggin' head in, like in Marvelous. But I'm glad that I did, because now I'm like, I feel way more comfortable in Marvelous as well, which is great. So yeah, that's it. That was the character, bro. Okay. Okay, so we're definitely going to want to inset. Let's say inset to there. Yeah, I don't know if fun's the right word. It was frustrating. But something that it did help me with was to not start with a mesh. So don't make a base in ZBrush, then bring it in, which is what I always used to do. I used to think that was a good way of doing it. It's way easier if you just start it in Marvelous, like draw it out the same way that you would draw out like cut up a piece of clothing on flat. Just do it in Marvelous. It's so much easier. There's a hot tip there. Okay, unorthodox way of doing this, but let's go delete. Polygroup all. So that should be gone on. Be good if I was in symmetry. There we go. I'm gonna bridge. Maybe that one. Yeah, it's so good, man. Like, it is just so good. See, it's kind of gross, but I'd probably rather that, to be honest, just because it's got a quad ending in each one. Let's just see how this goes. tricky. I mean, I just don't want to have to alpha stamp it or do something like crazy like that if I'm trying to keep everything all quadded. Nah, it's gonna lose the look I'm going for. Yeah. Tricky one. You know what I'm going to do? Do exactly what I've done with the rest of it. Keep thinking about it. Shuffle on to the next part. It's pretty easy. I mean, I could just crush it with Dynamesh and then just alpha stamp it in or something. But yeah, if I'm trying to stick to the modeling challenge, I'll come back to it. Something will click in my head. Circle to a rectangle, always hard. Might go for another 20-25 minutes, gang. But yeah, Rafi, man, I'm stoked to go at the end of the year, eh? Like, stoked to go to overseas to see everyone and stuff. It's gonna be pretty dope. I was talking to Ian from ZBrush, from Maxon, and yeah, we were talking about coming over. So gonna be pretty dope to see him and see everyone. Be pretty cool. That's it, bro. Sweet. Where I slid them in, yeah. On the circle part, yeah. I think you mean on this part here. So hover over an edge, spacebar. Am I on an edge there? There. Slide. And you go edge loop complete. So any edge that's an edge loop, same way as inserting an edge loop, you can just grab that and then it slides along the normal. So it was the same as, yeah. Yeah, so because this is an edge loop, like it'll just slide along the parent edges of it, which is really cool for just like insetting stuff and keeping it along. So yeah, that's spacebar slide. And even if you wanted to do a single edge, you could just do single, edge loop complete, and edge loop partial. That's where it terminates at the end of an edge loop. So yeah, dude, that's how I do it. Yeah, man, it's good, eh? The other one as well, like with hard surface stuff, I don't really see why people don't do it. Is how I like was moving this before, where it's like, say I wanted to move this section, like I can just mask the section that I want there, invert there, and it goes to this, and then I can actually move just that. I don't know. To me, I think that's kind of cool. Like instead of having to, like the masking is really powerful when things are really, really low poly, because if I'm just selecting this, it's going to say, okay, I have no portion of any other polygons there. I've just got this section. So this is the only section that I'm going to affect, if that makes sense. Like it's not going to bleed like it does with other stuff. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to delete this, because what we want this perfectly outside there. I'm going to do some cool trick here, which is exactly what we spoke about before. Let's go edge loop there, bevel it. It's exactly where we want it. Say there. Then I'm going to extrude polygroup all. We'll go polygroup island in case there's any other matching ones here. I'm going to hold control so I can pinch just that plate. Then I can click it and then go split hidden. Where's my split hidden? There. Now I have a cylinder plane perfectly around here. The beauty of this yikes. Cool. Look at that. Nice. I also I've gone back to, I can't tell if you can see this, but I've gone back to using just a tablet instead of, I've got like a full Huey on like 24-inch display, like the Pro 4K one here, and I just don't, I didn't, like probably wouldn't care if I never used it again. I don't know what it is about digital screens, like working on a like a Cintiq or something, dude. Like it's, I don't know. I prefer looking at the screen and having this down here. I've used it for years, and I just think that this is, I mean, like I tried using the screen one because it seemed so cool to me. I was like, yeah, get a, the screen would be mad. Yeah, it's just not vibing with me, man. I feel like it's so cluttery and stuff. I don't know. I'm exactly the same, bro. That is exactly it. So when I do Photoshop work, it's great. Like if I need to do something in Photoshop, love it. But yeah, 3D, it's like I just want to be looking at the screen. I don't even want to be looking at my hands. I just want to be looking at here. Like I know where my hotkeys are with my hand. Like it's just, life's just so much easier. So I'm glad I'm not the only one there. I wish it wasn't, like, because I do like the idea of it, but oh well. So does anyone want to display? Probably sell it. Yes, dude. Yes. All right, you're on my level, man. You are on my level right now. Just gonna need some straightening. Yeah. I reckon mine. I don't even know what this is. Intuous something something. Um. But yeah, dude, I love it. That's all I need. Because I can fit it in my backpack as well. Like if I go traveling, just take a laptop and this, boom, done. And I like that. It is, yeah. It's a strange one because people's preferences are, you know, that better. Like people think that better is always bigger and, you know, more advanced and stuff like that. And I think it's the same logic that you could use for 3D software and whatever works for you, dude. Whatever makes life easier. So obviously going to be positioning this bad boy a bit lower when I get there, but see, same thing I was talking about before with the masking. The low polyness is like, it's pretty rare that you get to be in a situation where you can just be like, I just want to pinch that when you're using high poly stuff. So all I'm doing there is masking, inverting the mask. Get rid of that mask. That's it. I want that nice and sharp. Cool. And here. Ah, symmetries. Cool. What was that wigging out? Need one down there. Hard surface, man. Loves bloody edge loops. This one here. Yeah, man. I actually love the I love the way the Chaos Masons guys do a hard surface where it's like a Dynamesh and then a Zero mesh and like a polygroup sort of workflow. Anyone who hasn't seen it, I would recommend checking their stuff out. I mean, obviously, people have seen the Chaos Masons guys, but they're such beasts, man. Like, I love the way they do everything, basically. Point of the story, everyone should just do what they do. Here's another example of the slide. I think this is going to be a good section to do this with, because I'm just going to cut these bits out. Maybe something like that, and then I'll do one more. That's losing a bit too much of the shape. I'll just insert one of these on each thing. So hoping I could keep it. So that's the middle one. That's the top one. And that's the bottom one. Is it there? Yeah, seems about right. I could slide them afterwards. Easier with groups if I can see them. Way too far apart. Here's your favorite tool. Here, bro. Slide. Boom. That'll do for now. Then I'll say extrude. Polygroup all. See, this is where I think Q mesh is better. See how it snaps? So what QMesh does instead of QMesh does instead of extrude is it'll look for as you're extruding. So that's, again, I'll just do it QMesh. It has a couple of different quirks than what extrude does, but it does a lot of the same different does a lot of the same things, except when you're doing the action, it almost like looks for, it just reacts differently. Like even then, like it looked for those vertices and welded to them, which is great. I mean, that's exactly what I wanted to do. So it's just like cool. It saves me having to go through and delete and weld and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's QMesh properties for vertices, edges, and faces as well. So I mean, there's a rabbit hole that you can just go down just purely on QMesh, but things like that, like moving and auto welding and stuff like that, it's great for. That looks kind of cool, huh? Maybe one more here. I like it. Sweet. It's probably a bit fatter, hey? Maybe a bit fatter. Yeah, this will still need some work. These edges here. Might have to break this circular bit off, make life a bit easier to do these bevels. I reckon we could just do that now. What we can do is we can group mask. Polygroup, polyloop, that, and then hold shift when you to pinch that color. Cool. Split hidden. I can fix that too. All right, it's coming up to 9:30. I reckon the more I do this, I'll probably get a bit faster. The live streaming and the working at the same time, I get a little bit distracted, but I think we're looking all right. Getting there. It's looking like a gun. That's what we want. All right, gang. Thanks so much for everyone for dropping in. I'll put up a poll next time again just to see, just to get vibes on everything. Like, I mean, I've still got to keep going through and finishing this thing. So, yeah, thanks again. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, guys and gals. See ya.